Some teams play 20 matches just to reach a tournament that others walk into automatically. Same trophy, same dream, wildly different journeys. Why? Because the road to the World Cup is not the same road for everyone. And once you understand how it actually works, you'll never watch a qualification campaign the same way again. Here's the thing. FIFA doesn't just hand out World Cup spots equally. They divide the world into regions called confederations. Europe has UEFA, South America has CONMEBOL, Africa has CAF, Asia has AFC, and so on. Each confederation gets a set number of spots based on how competitive their region is historically, how many member nations they have, and some negotiation that probably involved a very long meeting nobody enjoyed. So right away, the math is unfair. Europe gets around 16 spots for 55 nations. South America gets 6 spots for 10 nations. That's already a completely different game. Here's where it gets interesting. Within each confederation, the qualifying format is totally different. Europe plays in groups, then knockouts, relatively clean. South America throws all 10 nations into one giant league where everyone plays everyone twice.
18 matches minimum. Then you sweat the table. CONMEBOL qualification is basically the most brutal elimination gauntlet in football. Ask any Ecuador or Colombia fan. They'll age a few years just thinking about it. Africa takes a different approach. CAF usually runs a group stage, then a series of two-legged playoffs. You're playing matches for 18 months, traveling across a continent, managing different climates, political situations, travel schedules that would break most athletes. And if you lose one two-legged tie near the end, you're done. All of that, gone. Asia is arguably the most complicated of all. The AFC runs multiple rounds of qualifying. Some countries start from round 1, playing in mini tournaments just for the right to enter the actual qualification rounds. A nation like the Maldives or Bhutan could theoretically play 10 matches before even reaching the group stage that might lead to the actual World Cup. In theory, a country could play close to 20 matches total across all the rounds and still not qualify. That's not a campaign. That's a war of attrition. And then there's CONCACAF, which covers North and Central America and the Caribbean. The Caribbean nations often have to play in a preliminary qualifying stage, before a group stage, before a final round. Multiple filters. You're playing nations you've never heard of in places you'd have to look up on a map, just for the right to then play the United States or Mexico, who are already waiting, rested, in the final round. This sounds simple. It isn't. Because it's not just about the number of games. Every extra round is a chance for an injury to your best player, a bad refereeing decision, a red card that flips a match, a 7-hour flight the day before a game. Small nations don't have squad depth. They might have 2 or 3 genuinely professional players, and the rest are semi-professionals who took time off work to represent their country. And they need to do this across multiple rounds for 2 years against teams with infinitely more resources. In practice, the extra matches don't just tire teams out. They expose every weakness: financial weakness, squad weakness, coaching weakness. If you're a small footballing nation, qualification is less of a campaign and more of a stress test for your entire football infrastructure.
Now, here's the part that makes this genuinely interesting. FIFA has been expanding the World Cup from 32 teams to 48 starting from 2026, which means more spots, more confederations getting bigger allocations. In theory, this is great for smaller nations. More doors open. But in practice, more teams qualifying doesn't necessarily mean easier qualifying. The rounds still exist. The travel still exists. The resource gap still exists. A few more spots doesn't flatten a 50-year head start in football development. The teams that walk straight into major tournaments with minimal qualifying matches aren't lucky. They built systems over decades that made it inevitable. And the teams playing match 19 of a 2-year campaign in a stadium with 3,000 people, just trying to get to the party everyone else is already inside, they're not victims of the system.
They're the reason the system is interesting. Some countries need 20 matches to reach the World Cup because football is not a level playing field. It never pretended to be. But every now and then, one of those exhausted, underfunded, overlooked national teams makes it through. And when they show up on that World Cup stage, you'll understand why they celebrate qualification like they already won the thing. Because for them, they kind of did. If you want to understand why football works the way it does, the stuff most people never bother to explain, this channel is for you. Hit subscribe. We'll keep going.